Well, Jean, it's very nice to see you again. I guess the last time we talked was Misunderstood with Henry Thomas. We talked in San Francisco, as I recall. And so now we're here to talk about Target. And I must tell you straight away that I enjoyed the picture tremendously.
Oh, great.
Good action, good performances, great locations. One of which was Dallas, but now you tell me that you didn't actually get to shoot in Dallas.
Well, poor little Dallas. We were down there ready to shoot. It was the last week of the film, and we kept getting these awful weather reports. I mean, the weather was bad while we were there, but when we were getting ready to shoot, it was getting worse and worse, and it actually snowed. And we didn't feel that it would cut into the rest of the film, so we had to move south to Corpus Christi. It was just a few days, and we did shoot in the Dallas-Fort Worth airport, the last shot of the film, actually, which is almost the first shot of the film, but that's kind of the way films are made.
Yes. This reunites you with Arthur Penn.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, you did Bonnie and Clyde.
In Dallas, yeah.
Yes, again in Texas. As I watched the picture, because there's so much action and the chases in Target are really sensational, I wondered in your mind if you could compare them at all to the chases in Bonnie and Clyde as well as French Connection.
Well, they're very unique. I thought he integrates the cars and the physical locations in a way that is quite unique. And the interesting thing I thought was that there was a French stuntman named Remy Julien, who's a kind of a famous guy, and he's very good with cars and things. And Arthur took him around and showed him all the things that he wanted him to do, and Arthur kind of designed all these stunts, and Remy then would take them and do them. Well, Remy turned that over to his son, Michel, I think is Julien, and who is also very good. And they did those stunts, and then the last James Bond film came out, and suddenly there our stunts are. And we actually did our film before they did, but theirs was released first. And I talked to Arthur about it, and he was really mad because he felt that they had plagiarized our stunts. Of course, there's no way you can actually enforce that, but it was kind of. We knew it. We knew that some of the stunts were similar. No one else will recognize it. It's just one of those kind of funny things that happen in films.
Was that then when you decided to do your own dive into the river?
No, I don't know why I decided to do that. I guess it was just that I was bored that day, and I thought that would be a nice way to wake up. It was really cold, and of course I had an exposure suit on under my clothes. But I think it's kind of fun for an audience to know that the guy actually did it. You actually see me go into the water, and it was not such a big deal. It was just that from the production standpoint, they didn't want me to do that because, I could get an ear infection and close the film down for a while or hit my head on a board or something. But it's kind of fun to integrate the actor into the action as much as possible. I think the audience gets a real kick out of it.
I agree, but how many times did you have to do that?
Oh, I did it 2 or 3 times, I suppose. Just they dried you off and put some clothes on you to jump in and do it again.
You've been a busy fellow this year because you have another picture.
Yes.
A picture called Twice in a Lifetime. And all I know about it, Jean, is that the subject matter is divorce. Is there anything about this divorce story that makes it different?
Well, it isn't that it's so different. It's that we had such terrific actors and a kind of a sense of really being in middle America, for a lack of a better word, although we shot it in Seattle. But it has a sense of the kind of American who is struggling now in terms of the factory worker, that kind of just barely making ends meet, and they're in a life of that's somewhat dwindling and becoming less interested in each other. And so although it's not a terribly different story, it's done in a very different way. And with Ellen Burstyn and Margaret and Amy Madigan, all terrific actors. It was really quite a thrill for me to work on that.
Is the subject of divorce anything that you've ever experienced in your family or anything like that that you could relate to?
Yeah, just last week, actually. No, I'm going through a divorce myself.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
I didn't mean to be cute about it, but my mother and father were divorced also, and it's a painful experience, and probably more so for the children than it is for the parents, actually. I think that if you can make it through and still be friends with your former mate and with some kind of relationship with the children, you've done a marvelous job, and that's what we tried to do in the film, Twice in a Lifetime.
Was your own situation going on at the time you were making the film?
It actually was.
My gosh, Gene, what was that like?
Well, it was painful, and Bud Yorkin, the producer-director of the film, was going through the same thing also. And it's probably what attracted him to the piece to begin with. And so we were able to get a lot of our own emotion into the film, that things were happening at the time that seemed to be very valid.
Well, if the movie turned out, the story turns out happy, I hope that your life turns out happy as well.
Well, it's a bittersweet ending. So I don't think it can be happy. It has to be, life goes on.
Indeed. Well, I look forward to that. And again, let me tell you how much I enjoyed Target and your performance.
Thank you very
Good
much.
to see you and Arthur Penn back together again.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gene.
Cut.
Is the,
Keep on speed when you're ready. It's rolling. And we have speed. Hold a little bit to the right.
Okay.
That's it.
okay.
Anytime, dear.
So I understand you had some problems with this film that is supposed to be partially located in Dallas. What happened? Is there any way at all that you can draw a comparison between the chases you did in Bonnie and Clyde and then the French Connection and now Target? Why did you do the stunt where you jump into the river? How many times did you do it? What is it now? Let me check. What is it about Twice in a Lifetime? I know the subject matter is divorce, but what makes it unique? Is there anything different about Twice in a Lifetime? Is divorce a subject that you've ever had any first-hand experience with, say, in your own family? Were you actually then going through this at the time of the film? How did you get through that? And now just reactions. That ought to do it.
Okay?
Thank you.
I think we got it. Cut, please.
Maybe I better let